Hey everyone, we're Towaway Couple. I'm Tom, the driver.
And I'm Bunny, the weather girl.
The weather girl. So
we got to track tornadoes this week. That was fun.
Yeah, we thought the siren in our town didn't work until last night, and that is a butt clincher.
That it was.
When that siren goes off, you think, oh shit.
Yeah, because you gotta, we are from the West Coast and we now live in the South, and boy, then those sirens hit, you're running.
Yep. So today we've been seeing a lot on Facebook groups. All the new people always come in and they immediately ask a lot of questions. Well, one of the most main questions we see is, what all do I need to outfit my truck to do towaway driving? So we're going to talk about our investment and approximately, we don't have our receipts handy, so approximately what we spent on each item.
Yeah, but do they know that you're a go big or go home?
I'm a go big or go home. So you can either keep up or stay behind because, no, I'm just kidding. The investment's whatever you want to make it. Mm-hmm. Now, and there's no right or wrong, but we just like a certain look and everything. All of the items that we're going to talk about, all of the items, we're going to have links to Amazon where you can actually order them or go research them and take a look. Mm-hmm. So we're going to have all that in the description of our YouTube video, as well as on our website, towawaycouple.com.
Correct.
All right. So, and definitely order. We may make a penny or two. No, just kidding. So anyway, what did we have to invest? Well, we didn't get into towaway because we wanted to.
No.
Okay, so we already had the truck. We already had our own fifth wheel. So we already had the truck and the fifth wheel. We do see a lot of people actually going out and buying a brand spanking new truck to do this. Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong with that. It is a job. It's a business investment. It's a write-off. Everything to go with it.
Correct, because we drive a short bed truck.
Right.
Because I wanted the truck to look cool.
And be able to turn in parking lots.
Now, I wish I had a dually.
Yep, wish we had a long bed dually. So we have a 2017 Ram 3500 short bed 4x4. It does have a factory 4-inch lift. It's a little bit higher, and it does have 20-inch wheels, so we can't just buy the cheaper tires. Our tires are damn near almost $2,000 because of the 20-inch wheels, but it looks badass going down the street. So with that said, we spent over $80,000 for our truck. A lot of people are probably having a convulsion and a heart attack, but we bought it. We actually thought it was a 2,500. We didn't actually look at the numbers on the side, and it turned out to be a 3,500, which was a great thing.
I told Tom, I said, well, thank God we didn't buy the Corvette instead.
So we were working in the travel industry, and we got furloughed, and it was either my truck had to make its payment or we could potentially lose it. We still owe about $32,000, which isn't bad when we spent over $80,000 on the damn thing. But we decided that we were going to look into towaway driving. One of the things that we do these videos for is it was pulling teeth trying to find information that what do we need to do? Who do we need to call? What do we need in our truck? All these answers that we're trying to give you in one simple area.
Right.
Okay. Again, all these links will be on our YouTube channel description of this video and on our website. So definitely check those out. Now, we already had the fifth wheel hitch.
Yes, we did.
So that was a huge investment because we have a 40-foot personal fifth wheel. Our fifth wheel loaded only weighs 15,000 pounds. That's with the Harley, the golf cart. It has a 12-foot garage, but it's an ultra lightweight aluminum frame. But I still went with the 21K hitch. So my fifth wheel, being where short bed, is an auto slide.
Right, it has to be.
Well, it doesn't have to be. You only need it for if you're backing up.
Well, no. In the hauling industry, if you have a short bed truck, it has to be.
Right, but I didn't have to. What I'm saying is I already had it. I didn't actually have to have a slider hitch. And there are a lot of people that will say they can drive it without a slider hitch. Yes, in the transport business, all the companies, if you have a short bed, require you to have a sliding hitch, whether it's manual or automatic. Ours is automatic.
Yep.
A lot of people say, I know how to drive. I don't need one. It doesn't matter. The towaway company or the transport company doesn't know how well you can drive, so they just make it across the board. Save our trailers. They don't care about your truck so much, but they care if you damaged their trailers. So they're going to require you to have a slider hitch if you have a 6.5 foot bed or shorter or whatever. You don't need a slider if you have a long bed.
Correct.
So our hitch was $1,700. And it literally almost takes a forklift to put it in our truck. We actually have a video.
It does.
We actually have a video of us using an engine hoist, putting it in our truck. It's kind of humorous. We're sweating like pigs. Go check that out. You'll understand. Now, I have the puck system, so I had to get the adapter set, our big rectangle that goes in the puck system. That was $400. So I got over $2,100 in my hitch and my adapter plate. Again, I already had that when I was looking at Towaway. So if you don't have a fifth wheel hitch and you want to make more money, you would probably want to have a fifth wheel hitch. But you can look at used ones. You can look at other Towaway drivers. This is a very, very high turnover industry. Somebody goes in gung ho. They spend a shit ton of money. I'm trying not to cuss. They spend a ton of money on outfitting their truck, and they do it for a month, and they realize it's not for them. And next thing you know, they sell their fifth wheel, their extended fuel tank. So a lot of this stuff you can find used on different marketplaces. So now what we did was we came up with the list. So I'm going to get my glasses, show how old I am. So we actually had to have a load leveler hitch system. I have a class 5. I see a lot of people, they'll have the class 3 load leveler system with the adapter that goes in the receiver. I don't really care for that personally because it clanks and makes noise and everything. So the system without the class 5 shank is about $230, $250. With the shank is about $450. And that I have that link for both of those on here. You're going to need a 2 5/16 inch ball and a 2-inch ball.
Right.
So
you never know what you're going to pull.
Right. I mean, the smaller trailers are still 2-inch and the larger trailers are 2 5/16. You're going to need a battery. A lot of people will, the balls are about $20, $25.
Yeah.
Give or take. A lot of people will use a frame mount battery for just the brake. All the batteries for technically is for the breakaway braking. So if a trailer comes off of your truck, it'll apply the brakes. It comes to a stop and doesn't kill half of the people that it could have. So with that said, I would recommend the M24 series deep cycle battery because the little battery isn't capable of opening the slides. And while a lot of the transport companies will say, pull your battery off, make the dealership put their own battery in to operate the slides because it'll ruin your battery. The truck batteries are about $200, $250 each. So $400 to $500 for your truck batteries. And a lot of people will buy that frame rail mount battery for $68. And then they'll keep the 7-way plugged in to operate the slides. You're not going to tell a dealership, no, they're not going to use your battery. It's not going to happen. Just suck it up, live it up, and just bear with it because if you make their life hard, they're going to make your life hard. So it's a $60, $70 battery. Just deal with it. If you have an M24 deep cycle battery, you can leave that plugged in and disconnect your 7-way. So when they operate the slides, they're not ruining your truck batteries.
And it makes it, like you said, it makes it a lot easier on everybody. Just get them in, get your paperwork signed off so you can get back out.
Right. The M24 battery, okay, the frame rail mount battery is like $68. And the M24 deep cycle battery with a plastic box is $78.
Yeah.
So you're talking $10. I was going to buy the frame rail until I realized that the bigger battery was only $10 more. All right. Now, a lot of people, this is a topic that goes both ways. We listened to one couple who have been doing this for 10, 12 years. They told us to go out and buy an extended fuel tank as big as we can get. Well, we have a short bed puck system. The biggest we could get was 60 gallons, and it's gravity feed, and it was $1,000. Now, my bed is rhino lined, and they were rhino lining another tank, and they offered to rhino line it for a mere $250 more. And
Just a little bit.
Guess what I did? So I got $1,250 into my tank. It pays for itself.
But let me tell you, even when we do go to a dually, we're leaving that fuel tank in our truck because it's so much better to have.
I go
than just a regular one.
1,500 miles without a trailer between fill-ups with that 60-gallon in there.
Yep.
So a lot of guys will say, well, I got to go to the bathroom every 2 hours. Well, we do too. But what we do is we pull in, run into the bathroom, run out in the truck, and get going because you're on the clock.
Right. And by having that extended fuel tank allows you to go farther so you can look on your app to find out where your cheaper gas is.
Exactly. You're not limited to 200 miles or 250 miles. You're limited to a more like 900 to 1,100 miles roughly with the 60-gallon tank. Now, also, excuse me, having the extended fuel tank allows me not to sit in a fuel island behind trucks because with fuel prices right now, the cheaper stations could be 2-3 deep. And if you don't understand, that could make the difference between sitting in a fuel island for 5 minutes, or at a gas station for 5 minutes running in to go to the bathroom and running out, or sitting in a fuel island from 30 minutes to an hour.
Yes. Behind, which we were the other day.
Yep, behind all these semi trucks. So, and also having the extended fuel tank allows us, as Bunny said, to find the cheaper gas further down the road. But every 50 gallons is a free shower.
Yeah. And free showers when you're on the road are great. That's worth $12 at a Pilot.
So you figure every time you put 50 gallons in that tank, they gave you $12 more in your pocket if you use the shower. And here's a hint. If you have to use the bathroom and you don't want to go into the stinky bathroom with 5 or 6 stalls and all of them have a red label on them that they're used and you got 2 or 3 guys standing at the stall doors waiting to use them, just go ask for a shower and you got your own private bathroom.
There you go. $12 private bathroom.
And you can wash up afterwards.
It's worth it.
It's worth it. We've done it. We have done it.
Well, you've done it.
I've done it. But again, at 6 a.m. when all those truck drivers are getting up, you really don't want to be in those bathrooms. They stink. You could smell them walking in.
This is going to be a long video if you don't stop being long-winded.
Right. Okay, so another thing I did add, because you're limited on the amount of space, if you want to sleep in your truck, we get hotels. We did a video on hotels, so you could check that out. But there are times that we do sleep in our truck. And we both cram in the back seat. We put some things up front. So we did buy a toolbox for the bed of our truck. And in that toolbox, we keep the battery. But when it's hooked to a trailer, then it's not in there. But we keep our clothes. We keep our tool bag. We keep a lot of stuff in there. The ratcheting straps. Anything extra goes in that toolbox. And it fits pretty well.
Yeah, it does. And the longer we do it, the more I realize how much I overpack, so I have to bring more stuff home. Right.
And I'll be putting pictures up throughout the video, but my toolbox measures 58 inches wide by I think it's 12 and a half inches tall. So the fifth wheel kingpin box goes right over it and right into my fifth wheel. So it doesn't get in the way of nothing. And when I close the bed, the tailgate, it covers the latches so no one can actually get in it.
Right. And plus the fact that you have the tonneau cover.
Yeah, well, I also have a tonneau cover. I don't have that on the list because that's really not needed. But yeah, we put a tonneau cover on there. Now, the toolboxes, I looked on Amazon. I didn't really like them. They're about $325 at Dan's Hitch or Dually Depot. You can get them in black if you want to wait a little while. Just go to Dan's. Dan's Hitch does them in black or they'll rhino line them. Dually Depot does not. We got a silver one because we wanted it that day, and we're going to just spray it ourselves, but we know it's not going to be as good as if we had it done beforehand. We just didn't have a month to burn.
Correct.
All right, so the rear mud flap, they have a couple different ones. They got some that actually hang on the shank of the ball hitch. I don't like them because they're always tilted. I like a clean look on my truck, and you'll see a picture. And at Dan's Hitch, they actually mounted a metal rod or angle iron underneath the hitch, and they bolted it there, and then they bolted the mud flap to that.
Right. Now, it's personal opinion. A lot of people do like the ones that hang because they can just pull out their hitch and take off their rear mud flap. We cannot. We have to go through a little bit more. But you know what? We haven't taken it off since day one, so it doesn't really matter. Now,
some people do say that it could make the difference between 5 miles a gallon, which I think is pretty high. But I'm thinking maybe I'm eating an extra mile per gallon. When I am unloaded, I'm getting about 20 miles to the gallon on my truck. When I'm loaded, anywhere from 10 to 12. So I don't think it's affecting me enough to have to go through all the hassle of removing it to fly back to Indiana to put it back on.
Well, and plus the fact that we just don't have the room in the bed.
And we don't have the room in the bed. So now there is a cheaper version. I got the bigger one, or not the bigger one, but the better quality one, the commercial quality. I paid $229 for it, and it was mounted, installed, and it looks clean. They have another one for $169. It still looks clean, but it just doesn't look as durable as mine.
Correct.
All right. Now, I did add LED lights to each side of my mud flaps, and I put a little toggle switch on the mud flap mount, and that allows me at night to back into trailers, and it lights up the whole area. I don't have to rely on my backup lights, and those lights were like $15 each. Let's see here. Mud flaps behind the tires. You don't have to really have those, except for one company requires them. But currently our company, they would like you to have them, but they just focus on the big mud flap. On Wednesday, we actually have an appointment at Dooley Depot. We wanted to go to Dan's because we did see theirs. We like theirs, but they're a couple months out. And we will schedule an appointment over there for those. But for $70 installed, they will have them on in about an hour at Dooley Depot. And that will help with the elimination of rock damage to the front of the trailer.
Exactly.
It's going to make my truck look stupid, but all right, we'll live with it, because if it saves us $1,500 in a damage deposit claim for $70, I'd rather spend the $70 and look stupid.
Yeah, because $1,500 is 2 car payments.
Yeah, that's 1.5 truck payments. All right, so with that, and also Dooley Depot said their range is 70 to 109, depending on if they have diamond plate on them and stuff like that. Dan's Hitch, I believe, was about 100 to 220, depending on the framing and stuff like that. A little bit more, but I got to tell you, we've only experienced Dooley Depot for the Toolbox installed. I don't have enough experience. I'm not saying anything negative, but everything we've done at Dan's has been very well quality installed. So we'll let you know how the mud flaps are installed after next week.
Correct.
All right. Triangles. You're going to need triangles. They're about $20 to $29 for a set of 3 in a box.
And you know what? We were going to order them online through Amazon, because you can order them online. Right. So. And
you can get them prime, so you could have them within a day or two.
Right. Exactly.
Okay, so I was told that there's these battery-powered emergency flares. They're $10.98 each, and you'll need 3 of them. Not every company requires them, but some companies do. And I've seen a lot of police using them at accident scenes. Yeah. I'd almost rather something flashing than a triangle that nobody actually sees anymore.
Well, and the fact that we had triangles out in front of our trailer here at our house while we were unloading our own trailer, and somebody hit them.
Yeah, and not only did they hit it, they were flying by at 50 miles an hour. Right. So yeah, I know the lights won't work too much in the daytime, but at the night, I think that might attract their attention, because how many times have you been going down the freeway, you see a truck pulled over and you see triangles, but you don't relate it.
Right, but you see that flashing light.
How many people don't merge over to give them a little more safety room?
Right.
By the way, we always merge over. We don't care if it's car, diesel, anything. Even if it's not having its emergency lights on, if it's on the side of the road, we always merge over. Let's see here. Fire extinguisher. About $25. It needs to be mounted inside the cab, easily accessible. or where we mount ours is in the bed of the truck on the driver's side on the wheel well.
Right.
Again,
easily accessible.
In the picture, you'll see it. Torque wrench. We can't tell you how many times. Bunny, what do you do?
What do you mean? What do I do? I am the torque wrench girl.
She's the torque wrench girl.
I torque all the tires down, but I actually also make sure that the spare tire is torqued down, because I've had them come out of the factory where they've only been hand tightened. So I just use it to tighten it up too. And
the wheels have some of them. Not all the time. Out of 30 trailers, about 5 trailers, she's found several lug nuts that weren't fully tight. So always, always, always check your torque. I know that you want to trust everyone else, but do not trust anybody but yourself, because
you don't want to lose a whole tire.
Well, that, and you don't want to you don't want to lose a tire, but you're responsible for that trailer when it leaves. So if your tire comes off because the lug nuts came off, that is you.
Right.
But if you go out and your lug bolts shear off or your tire blows, you're not really responsible for that unless you hit a curb or something. And then I guess, how do you prove that? WeatherTech window coverings. It's not required, but we got them because we were going to sleep in our truck, and these things seal it. I tried to do the whole cheap ones at $5 ones.
At
she
Walmart,
bought 10 of them.
And cut them, and then we'd have to tape them every time. Oh my God.
Blue painter's tape.
Spent an hour just putting those in the window to try to go to sleep at night. The WeatherTech ones are amazing. You pop them right in. You have 2 sides. One goes out in the summertime. One goes out in the wintertime to keep the heat in or keep the heat out. They're amazing.
Yes.
That was probably the best purchase we made.
So they're about $150. Again, a link in our description and on our website. Definitely get WeatherTech, not the cheap crap. WeatherTech, because it actually bends and pops into your window, and it actually forms the whole window seam.
They're made for your
specific truck.
Yes.
The front one has little gaps, but it is what it is. Clipboard storage box for paperwork. They're about $25. It's like what you'd see at a construction site or a warehouse. It's the box that holds papers and it has a clipboard on top. What this is good for is we keep our license plates in there for the trailer. We keep our magnetics in there.
Yep.
As well as our dispatch paperwork, BOL, all that stuff. And then when Bunny actually walks around the trailer while I'm hooking on, and she inspects for damages. So she puts a sheet of paper on top and she notes all the damage, if any. Right. But what we're doing now is we keep a roll of blue tape. So she literally just walks, because by taking the time to write down, and I know I'm going above and beyond, we'll do a different video on it. To taking time to write down, you might miss something else. So what we agreed on last dispatch was just walk the trailer and put painter's tape like you would be walking a house. If you're renting or buying a house, you put painter's tape, and then the maintenance guys come in and fix it, and you recheck it. Well, this allows her to put the painter's tape all the way around the trailer. Then she goes and notes it. And then we go through and I take pictures of her pointing at the painter's tape. And then I take a picture of a distance of her pointing at that painter's tape. Even if the painter's tape is 6 inches apart, we do one for each damage. If it's a scratch, she actually will hold her hands a certain a certain distance to show where the scratch starts, where it approximately ends, because not all scuffs show up in pictures.
Right. Now, and also the clipboard that we use, it's got a handy little handle on it too. So, and then I throw all the paperwork and the keys. That way everything is together, because one time keys came out of the plastic bag and they fell on the floorboard. Yes. Luckily, they didn't get kicked out of the truck. So we want to keep everything together.
Everything together. All right, so we would definitely recommend that. Let's see here. We talk about the torque wrench. Torque wrench was $19 at Harbor Freight.
Yep.
Dirt cheap. You don't need a Snap-on $200 one. I've seen people go out and buy those. You don't need it. You just want to make sure you're torqued within a reasonable spec.
And you definitely, we already had them, but you want a dual socket for the lug nuts.
The one that flips around.
Because there are going to be two different sizes.
So that means you need like a 3-inch extension or a 6-inch, and then you want this dual socket. I can't remember what's 3/4 and 11/16 I think it is. And definitely have it for that, because we've had several trailers that we've had to flip around.
Yep.
Okay. Or the trailer lugs are different than the spare tire lug.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Now, because the spare tire lug's just using a nut.
It's just a bolt. Yeah.
It's just a bolt
nut.
and nut. All right. Ratcheting tie downs. They're anywhere from $15 to $25 at Harbor Freight. Most companies require 1 to 2. And what you do is you're using them to ratchet the battery down. Even if you have a frame rail mount, you're supposed to have a tie around it, irregardless if it's bolted or not. But you're supposed to do the battery box, the plastic box. And we also ratchet down the propane cover because we've heard of those flying off. And if they fly off, they may hit the front of your trailer.
Right. Now, some people take them off and put them in the trailer. But for us, it's just so much easier just to ratchet them down.
Yeah. And plus, when you're going through the DOT inspection, the weigh scales, they actually look for your magnets. They look for how clean your truck is. They look for those. We get bright orange straps, not anything dark, because when we roll through and they see that you ratcheted both of those and everything appears like you've done your job above and beyond, we're knocking on wood. We have not been pulled over yet, but a lot of people get pulled over. But we were kind of told by Dan's Hitch, make them visible. And then when we ratchet them down and get all the extra, we zip tie the extra together and then zip tie that to the ratcheting handle.
Yes.
So we always keep a bag of zip ties.
Bag of zip ties and bag of cutters.
Cutters. We have 2 sets of cutters. Now, the zip ties, go to Home Depot. They got like the 12-inch zip ties. A bag of 500. I think they've gone up a little price. They used to be $25 for 500. Now there might be 30 or 35. Don't get the Harbor Freight ones. I bought those. They literally break as you're zip tying them. I've never had good luck. Some people say, oh, I swear by Harbor Freight. Great, you're lucky. But do you really want to risk it for a few bucks? So go to Home Depot, get a big bag. And I did see where they don't cut the top. They cut a little square in the middle. I cut the top of mine, but I just saw a TikTok video where they cut a little square in the middle of the bag so they can reach in and pull them out and they don't go everywhere.
Don't go flying around the back of your truck.
I just told Bunny, I slid them in the truck with the opening facing the middle of the truck. And then when I opened the door, zip ties started falling out because Bunny put them in with the opening facing the door. So I was like, really?
It was easier.
It was easier.
You know what? One thing I do not see on there in most of your companies are going to require is your safety chains.
Yes.
But also you want to buy extra hooks.
Yes. Okay. So our company required us to have a 2 or 5/16 or whatever it was, 10-foot long chain. We couldn't figure it out. Finally, during our driving test, even the guy who gave us the driving test is like, why do you have this? And we're like, we were told to. We showed him on the website. We showed him everything. He goes, no, what you need is 2 16-inch lengths. So if the trailer didn't get long enough chains that you can extend the chains.
Right.
So you're going to need 2 16-inch chains with hooks so you can extend the chains. That's all it's for. But we also look at the trailer hooks that are on the trailer. They're the big hooks. They're about $8 each on Amazon. We had one stolen off of our trailer. Just one, not 2, just one. All of a sudden I walk out back to the fuel island. I'm seeing a chain. Oh, some guy pointed out, he goes, your chain's hanging. I'm like, what? And I look down. Yeah, chain's hanging. Hook's missing. So all I had was a D-link. And I'm like, oh, dear God, they're going to charge me $25, $30 for this hook at the dealership when I drop it off. So I took it to the dealership with 2 double cheeseburgers. And I basically told the guy, I said, hey, if you have a spare hook on a wreck trailer anywhere, I brought you lunch. I mean, for me, it was $6 for a couple double cheeseburgers at Wendy's. The guy goes, I don't need the double cheeseburgers. I got a box of them. I'll give you a hook. And I'm like, keep the double cheeseburgers. I appreciate it. We went out and for $8 each on Amazon, bought 2 spare hooks we keep in our toolbox. It's never happened since, but
hey, it's better. But anything can happen. I mean, a bump, anything can happen.
well,
maybe
the
one
little
come off.
cotter pin,
Yeah.
maybe it didn't get stolen. Maybe well, it would have still been on my truck, I'm thinking. But the hook was missing, but it has a little cotter pin, and maybe that fell out, and the hook came off somehow. I don't know. Anyway, I'm assuming it was stolen. All right, so I got that. Anything else on this?
Nope.
Did I miss anything?
Not on the initial.
Okay, so without the hooks and without the chain, I came up with our total investment for the fuel tank, the battery, pretty much, and I'll list all the stuff that I have on the description as well as on the website, and links to anyone that I can link to are where you can buy it from, like the Toolbox. Get it from Dooley Depot or Dan's Hitch because I couldn't find anything on Amazon that matched my toolbox.
We did buy some toolboxes on Amazon, and we returned them. They were so cheap.
They were cheap. They sucked. So our total investment without the safety chain and without the hooks is about $2,698. And that's because of the hitch and everything. If you got to buy a fifth wheel hitch, my slider hitch and my adapter plate were about $2,100. An adapter plate by itself is about $400 through Reese or like eTrailer.com. But a fifth wheel hitch, ranging if you don't need a slider all the way up to a slider, is about $800 to $1,900 for a 20K or above, and most all transport companies require 20K and above.
Correct. Now, a lot of people will go into this and just start pulling bumper pulls until they build up a little bit of money, and then they'll put in their fifth wheel hitch.
But you do get better fuel mileage on a fifth wheel. I don't know why. It's over the axle, I don't know, but the bumper pull almost seems like you get worse mileage. I can get 11 miles to the gallon on a fifth wheel that's bigger than the bumper pull, that I'm getting 9.9 miles to the gallon. So I prefer fifth wheels now. Also, on my fifth wheel hitch, it's a Demco auto slide. I had to buy 2 sets of capture plates.
Yes.
And one set was about 80 or 90 bucks, and the other one was like 120 bucks. But I could pretty much pull any fifth wheel out there.
Now, this is something that we did not know because we bought ours for our personal trailer.
Right.
And the minute we got into Elkhart and we started having all this, they're like, "Do you need the other capture plates?" We're like, "What are you talking about?"
I didn't know nothing about no capture plates.
And we pulled in twice now, and we're like, "Crap,
we need capture plates."
Yeah, so we have those now too.
So I talked about the LED lights mounted above the rear med flap. That is not required. That was just something we did. We put a tonneau cover on, the soft tonneau cover that rolls. And the nice thing was that was like $300, but for the extra 100 and then like $45 to install, and it looks beautiful. And they actually cut out an access door and made Velcro so I can fill up the extended tank without rolling I had to roll the thing open the first few times, but then when they put the door on there, people love it. It's like a hidden gem. All right, so one thing we did buy, and I'll tell you what, it allowed us to move a lot more, is Bunny doesn't pull the trailers, but she could backhaul drive. So when you're on the clock forward and backwards. So when you drop that trailer off, you can only drive 11 hours, and you need 10 hours off, 10 hours off. If you do not have a DOT legal sleeping berth, you can't sit in the driver or the passenger seat while your wife or something drives you. So we bought the DOT sleeper berth, and Bunny became a driver for our company. That allowed me to drive 11 hours and then be off in the sleeper berth while Bunny was able to drive 11 hours. So instead of 3 days getting back to Elkhart from California, we could be back there in 31 hours.
Correct.
So that way we could just hook on, and we were making money. That DOT sleeper berth paid for itself the first 3 trips just by the time savings.
Yes.
But it's not for everyone, and they're hard to get. So I got the last one.
And they're actually not real comfortable to sleep in.
They're not.
You feel every bump in the road.
But for legality reasons, it has made our life much better. We did a video on our DOT sleeper berth. Check that out. If you like our videos, definitely give a thumbs up so we know it doesn't do anything on the algorithms. Definitely make a comment. If you have questions, you can find us on our social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter as TowawayCouple. You can send us messages on any of those platforms, and definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Absolutely.
All right. So until next time.
See you down the road.
See you down the road. Bye-bye.